Software stocks are getting absolutely destroyed right now, and most people are pointing their fingers at the wrong culprit. You've probably heard people calling it a SaaS apocalypse. And yeah, that sounds a little dramatic, but there's something very real happening underneath all the memes. The threat isn't just another SaaS competitor popping up. The real threat is a chat box. Claude, Codex, AI agents, whatever you want to call them. They're forcing companies to ask one single brutal question. Why are we paying for all these user licenses when we can just build the workflow ourselves? If you stick with me, I'm going to show you why this isn't the end of software, but it might just be the end of the per-user pricing model as we know it. Now, real quick, if you enjoy tech breakdowns that explain what's actually happening behind the headlines, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe right now. I'm turning this into a series, and part 2 is going to be all about the 3 business models that will survive the agent era. So like, subscribe, and let's dive in. Oh, and a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is a tech trend breakdown. I'm talking about business models, buyer behavior, and company incentives. Alright, picture this. It's Monday morning. A CFO opens a spreadsheet titled 2026 Renewals, and it's a complete mess. 40 different tools, thousands of paid user licenses, and AI add-ons stacked on top of more AI add-ons. And every single vendor is pitching the same line. Don't worry, we're mission critical. But the CFO doesn't care. The CFO just wants to know, which ones can we cut? Normally, the answer to that question is, be careful. If you cancel that, you'll break critical workflows. But now, a new sentence is creeping into these meetings, and it changes everything. Someone pipes up and says, wait a minute, didn't we build something just like this internally last week? That used to be a joke, not anymore. Because AI didn't just make coding faster, it made building things feel easy. Like, weirdly easy. It feels like you can just describe what you want, connect it to your company's data, and a working version just appears. It's not perfect, it's not magic, and it's definitely not zero effort. But compared to how things used to be, it's a night and day difference. This is why everything feels so intense right now. For a long time, AI was just a feature. It was a little chatbot in the corner of your screen, or a summary button. But the moment AI becomes capable of taking action, the moment it can actually perform steps in a workflow, that's when buyers stop asking, which software should we buy? And they start asking, which user licenses do we even still need? That shift in thinking is what's freaking everyone out. And here's the part most people are missing. The biggest thing that's breaking right now isn't a product, it's a pricing model. Traditional SaaS companies get paid by the seat. Basically, how many humans log in and click buttons. But AI agents don't need 500 user licenses. They don't need a bunch of people logging into an interface. What agents need is access, permissions, actions, and a clear audit trail. So, a company looks at a renewal and thinks, why are we paying for 200 users if one single agent can run the entire workflow? That one question is a wrecking ball, because if license counts shrink, revenue shrinks, unless the pricing model itself changes. And changing pricing is incredibly messy. It leads to customer churn, tough renegotiations, and all-out procurement wars. So when investors look at SaaS companies today, the fear is basically, how much of your revenue depends on humans clicking around on a screen all day? Because the more your product relies on human clicks, the easier it is for an AI agent to quietly come in and replace that activity. Now, let's talk about the big names. It's not that Salesforce forgot how to build a product. It's not that Microsoft forgot how to execute. And now, you can add ServiceNow to that list too. The real threat is that they're being attacked from 2 sides at once. On one side, you have the build it yourself movement. Enterprises can now build their own internal tools for things like routing, approvals, and automations ridiculously fast. The bar for saying, hey, we can build a version of that, has dropped dramatically. On the other side, you have the skip the workflow entirely approach. With AI agents, the workflow doesn't just get automated, it gets deleted. Instead of a human clicking through 10 different screens to export a report, the agent can just read the data and produce the answer directly. The software becomes the back-end infrastructure, and the agent becomes the new interface. This is where ServiceNow is such a perfect example. Think about what they do. They manage tickets, incidents, routing, and escalations. But if an agent can read the ticket, trigger the right workflow, and resolve the issue on its own, then what happens to the number of humans who need to pay for user licenses? Exactly. The user interface becomes less important, and the final bill becomes highly negotiable. Let's zoom out for a second. Not all SaaS is equally threatened here. There's a category of software that's very hard to replace, and there's another category that's basically just a UI tax. In bucket 1, you have your systems of record. These are the tools that store the absolute truth. Customer records, accounting data, compliance information. These aren't going anywhere. In fact, AI agents rely on them even more. But then you have bucket 2, the workflow helpers. These are the tools where the main value is just helping a human follow a process. We're talking about dashboards, forms, and routing tools. If your core value proposition is humans clicking through a process, then an AI agent can do that job, quietly, cheaply, and forever. This isn't a software apocalypse, it's a software renovation. SaaS is just changing its shape. What's dying is the idea that you can charge a company forever for a user interface that mainly exists just because humans have to click it. So here's what happens next. Phase 1 is license compression. Companies will start cutting their 500 licenses down to just 50. Phase 2 is tool consolidation. Procurement departments will start killing off redundant workflow tools. And phase 3 is agent standardization. Companies will pick one single agent layer, and every other piece of software will just become a simple integration into that layer. If you run a SaaS company, stop just adding chatbots to your product. Nobody cares. Instead, you need to become agent native. Focus on your APIs, permissions, and governance. If your product can become a trusted environment for AI agents to operate in, you'll be incredibly powerful. If you're an enterprise buyer, don't do the dumb thing and just cancel everything at once. You'll break your company. Instead, split your tools into those 2 buckets I mentioned. Then ask yourself, can an agent do this entire process end-to-end safely? If the answer is yes, that's where your budget is going to start disappearing. The old era was all about paying forever for humans to click through workflows. The new era is about agents doing the work, software becoming the underlying infrastructure, and the interface becoming a simple conversation. So, the new question isn't what software is the best. It's which platform is going to become the new operating system for agents. Tell me what you think in the comments. Which one of the giants is most at risk? Is it Salesforce, ServiceNow, or Microsoft? Make sure you subscribe for part 2, and I'll see you in the next one.